Breaking news, Bucs fans. We have our offensive coordinator. Zac Robinson from the Atlanta Falcons will be the new OC for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're watching Bucs Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Reid Bartkus. Wow. Okay. We have our offensive coordinator. This was, he interviewed, and then they didn't let him leave Tampa. He's staying in the NFC South. Obviously, our arch rivals over in Atlanta. But this is why you subscribe. Any Bucs news that happens, I've got you covered. All offseason long. Free agency, draft, anything that goes on, news, rumors, I have you covered. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's why you subscribe, so that you don't miss anything during the offseason. All right, let's take a breath here because this happened at 7 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. Adam Schefter breaking the news at 7:03. I was still snoozing. We're in Central Time here in Dallas, Texas. But I did get a short out for you guys, letting you know my thoughts kind of. But I did say in that short, if you didn't watch that I would make a full video on it. So here we go. Staying in the NFC South, Buccaneers are finalizing a deal to hire Falcons offensive coordinator Zac Robinson as their offensive coordinator per sources. My one-word reaction, all right. That's it, because he's had some woes back in Atlanta. But now I have my own thoughts of who Zac Robinson is as a play caller, what type of offensive mind he has. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Mike McDaniel was number 1 on my list. Todd Monken, number 2. Zac Robinson was number 3. So my one-word reaction is, all right, we'll see what happens. But if you don't know who Zac Robinson is, or you want a little bit of background on him, he was the Falcons OC in 2024 and 2025, but he spent most of his coaching career on the Rams with Sean McVay. So he is part of that Sean McVay tree. And an interesting thing to note as well, he was the Rams pass game coordinator and QB's coach when Liam Coen was the OC in 2022 with the LA Rams. So a little bit of crossover there. They work together. I mean, a pass game coordinator and the OC, they work like this. So what was that? I don't know. But they work like this. So this is something interesting to monitor because, I mean, there's a whole clump of them. Raheem Morris, LA, with him, and then Zac Robinson and Liam Coen, all the NFC South. That's all just coming from the Rams. But that Sean McVay tree, I really like that. And this is going to be Baker Mayfield's 9th OC. I've said that multiple times in this search for an OC. So this is really important. And I think talking about that Liam Coen connection, that Liam Coen connection, take a look at Baker Mayfield's stats in 2024 with Liam Coen as the OC. 71 completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. One of his best years with the Bucs. Honestly, one of his best years in his career. And then with Josh Grizzard, just a significant decline. And could that be something else? Could that be Josh Grizzard? I think now we get to finally find out is, can Baker Mayfield continue that growth with somebody with the same type of mind and maybe not the same type of offense as Liam Coen, but if you want to replace Liam Coen, the best way to do it is with a guy who worked with him in the Rams, offense with Sean McVay and him being the pass game coordinator there with Liam Coen. So I like this idea with Zac Robinson coming in. And yes, there are some woes that he had with the Atlanta Falcons. I can already see the comments right now. Oh, another 8-9 season. Oh, all he runs is pistol. I think we have to take a step back and understand. I think he was handcuffed by Michael Penix and his uncomfortability to go under center / run anything other than pistol. I don't want to say that Michael Penix can't play under center. I just don't think he feels comfortable doing that. And one thing that I want to mention too is after that injury for Michael Penix, they started winning games, the Falcons. They went 5-3 in their last 8 games, beating us, obviously. You remember that. But take a look at Kirk Cousins. stats compared to Michael Penix. 8 games started, 9 games started. The touchdown to interception ratio, pretty similar. Same thing with the passing rating. But the passing yards, are you joking? I mean, this is if Michael Penix continued out the rest of his season, I mean, Kirk Cousins, I mean, this is great stats for a guy like Kirk Cousins when if you want to say, yes, Zac Robinson was crutched by Michael Penix, and it's like, oh, well, his offense, you have to learn how to change that to Michael Penix, a guy like Michael Penix. Dude, if you're an NFL quarterback, you need to know how to play under center. That is just absurd if you aren't comfortable under that. That's a lot of amazing offenses like the Clint Kubiak, like the Sean McVays. They run a lot of play action, and maybe it's shotgun play action, but a play action bootleg is so effective to get the run game going, and that's sort of what we missed this season with Josh Grizzard. So if you want to say that, oh, it's a crutch or whatever, and he's got to figure out a different offense with a guy like Michael Penix, yes, but at the same time, if you put him with a guy like Baker Mayfield, think about the creativity that can come from that. So he is I'm very interested to see what he can do with our weapons that we have. If Mike Evans comes back, Zac Robinson will have a plethora of guys to really have a creative offense, like I just said, to open up this offense and really push forward to a guy or a season for Baker Mayfield like he had with Liam Coen. I mean, Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka, I will say again, and again, where did he go? He got put in a hole and the lid shut on top of him. He is in the running for offensive rookie of the year, I believe, and somehow still is in the running for that, even with Josh Grizzard putting him in a closet for the rest of the season. So I'm very interested to see what Zac Robinson can do with an offense and a quarterback that can play under center, in pistol, in shotgun. I don't hate pistol. I just, when you spam it the entire season, it gives away your plays. I know that. Producer Chip knows that. Defenses, NFL professional defenses know tipping plays off with pistol offense. So he got away from that with Kirk. Towards the end of the season, they went 5-3, and Kirk had a great season. And I'm interested to see what they can do. Be honest with me. Grade the hiring of Zac Robinson for offensive coordinator. A, B, C, D, or F in the comments. I have a feeling I'm going to see a plethora of answers. I just remind you, let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. If he gets to the middle of the season and he's running his pistol and the offense looks stale and Baker Mayfield's having a terrible season, we'll come back to this and we'll grade it an F. But for me, I'm going to grade it a B+. I have high hopes for what his offensive creativity and his offense can do for our Bucs weapons in 2026. Let me know in the comments section down below. Coming up, my free agent targets after hiring Zac Robinson. A lot of you know when a coach gets hired, either a head coach, offensive coordinator, anything like that, they like to bring their guys, whether it be offensive coaching staff or players. Maybe players really like playing for a certain coach, and if you're a free agent, you have a choice to where you want to go. So I have those coming up for you. I got 3 of them. We'll see what happens. But before we continue on, if you're excited for this Bucs offense to get back on track, whether it be with Zac Robinson or maybe we fire him in the middle of the season and get somebody else, but we'll get to that when that happens. I'm excited for Zac Robinson, seeing what he can do. And if you are too, make sure you hit the like button. Let's see. Can we get to 200 likes? That'd be awesome. If we can get to 200 likes, that'd be awesome. YouTube, when you like the video, it tells us and it tells YouTube that this is a good video. And I'd really, really appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel, make more content for you guys. So hit that like button right now. And let's get into our top free agent targets from Atlanta. Now, this is going to be if they don't sign them back, because I'll start it right off the bat with Kyle Pitts. We know what Kyle Pitts can do. We saw what he did against the Bucs this year, but I think he is number one priority in terms of guys we can poach from the Falcons if they don't franchise tag him. Same thing with Tyler Allgeier. I don't think they'll franchise tag him. I think he'll try and maybe get a starting position somewhere because this guy is very, very good and very underrated. And then Elijah Wilkinson, offensive tackle, who had an actually pretty good year coming in as a backup and played over 1,000 snaps. And yeah, his PFF grades were very well. We'll get into that in a second. But these three guys are some guys that I think we can poach from the Atlanta Falcons. First off, though, Kyle Pitts. He becomes a real option now because Zac Robinson's offense, we've seen when they played the Bucs, it really runs through the tight end. His drag routes, his out routes, getting the ball out quick. That's what I want Baker Mayfield to be doing. And yes, Kyle Pitts, he is I don't want to say a bad run blocker, but he's more of a slot tight end, like I'm not going to be able to come up with a comparison right now. He's like a Kyle Pitts. He's really his own player. He's very good up the seam, very good on drag routes, like I said, but he's not a get near really nitty gritty and block on run plays. That being said, though, if we want to keep Cade Otton, if we want to let him go, if we want to pick somebody else up in free agency who is more of a run blocking tight end, there's a vertical threat and a serious pass game threat with Kyle Pitts on your lineup. I mean, just look at his 2025 stats: 118 targets, 88 receptions, 928 yards, averaging 10 and 5 touchdowns. I mean, thinking back to him getting drafted and him having an incredible rookie season and then just being sort of a body out there the entire time he was on the Atlanta Falcons and finally emerging as what we were expecting from Kyle Pitts again this year. And his last 5 games, remember what I said, the Falcons won their last 4. These are some pretty good stats with a guy like Kirk Cousins. They were really, really in tune. 32 receptions, 387 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns on the year. He had 4 of them in the last 5 games. We know what Kyle Pitts did to the Bucs this year. I still, on this play, I think he was out, but that's just me. Besides the fact, he is a good tight end, and he finally had the year. I don't know if you guys are fantasy players out there or fantasy managers. Every year, I know producer Chip did it because he did it this year. We were in a league together. He drafted Kyle Pitts because he's like, this is the year. This is the year he's finally going to be the Kyle Pitts that we thought when he came out of Florida. Of course, he was over 100 yards and like, I don't know how many, like 11 receptions against the Bucs. But get a guy like him on your offense with Zac Robinson changes the entire offense for 2026, which will also be this next guy, Tyler Allgeier. He is a bowling ball, dude. Watching the Falcons this year, I mean, he is the thunder to the Bijan lightning. Bijan is incredible. We all know this. He runs all over the Bucs every year and honestly over every team. But, I mean, if you look at the stats, he's got the perfect stats for a guy that you want backing up Bucky Irving. 143 carries this year, 514 yards. He's got 8 touchdowns. They really relied on him in third downs and in the red zone a lot. Sometimes, going back to fantasy, if you had Bijan Robinson, you're like, come on. If you're outside of 15 yards and Bijan's running the ball, you just hope he doesn't get inside the 5 and get tackled because the ball's going to Allgeier. But with Rachaad White leaving in free agency, I think this is a perfect option to back up Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker and Rachaad White, sort of like this 3-headed monster, but when one guy got hot, they kind of went away from him. Like Sean Tucker got hot for a couple games, and then they sort of went away from him, and then they focused on maybe in the red zone. So I think having a guy like Allgeier really could replace Rachaad White in the sense of maybe Algier's not the receiving back that Rachaad White was, but I think with an offense like Zac Robinson has, who knows? Maybe that 1-2 punch of Bucky Irving and Tyler Allgeier could be the change that we need for an offense that really needs some help in 2026. which brings me to my next guy, Elijah Wilkinson. Our Falcons guy, Trace Moustakis, I asked him about Elijah Wilkinson. I said, hey, because, I mean, as a producer here at Chat Sports, I don't get to look at every offensive guard or tackle on a different team. So I asked him about him, and he said he actually did very well for coming in as a backup. And, I mean, almost 63 overall PFF grade, 61 pass block grade, and 68 run block grade. This offensive line needed some depth this year, and we got away with it. Like Gedeke, he was fine. Mike Jordan coming in as well, but I mean, we really need a safe spot on this team. Yes, we have Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, hopefully, if he comes back. And this defense, hopefully they draft some guys and get some guys in free agency that can help that as well. But I want the offensive line to be somewhere we can look and be like, okay, yes, we don't need any help there, or we feel confident in that. Because if you guys remember, I mean, of course you guys remember Cody going down with a season-ending knee injury on Monday Night Football in Week 2, and then Ben Bredeson going down on IR with a knee injury as well. So Dan Feeney, Graham Barton, Luke Gedeke, Tristan Wirfs, obviously one of the better tackles in the league, but I think Elijah Wilkinson could really step in as that swing tackle for either left or right side. He plays right tackle, but I think having a good backup and bolstering that offensive line, you win in the trenches, and I think that'll really help this offense with the new OC coming in. Now, my final thoughts on Zac Robinson. I hope, your thoughts on it are optimistic, because I was looking for a guy with experience play calling. He has experience calling plays. Maybe not the best plays, I will give you that, but I want to give him another shot. I think he deserves another shot. You know why? Because he comes from the McVay tree, and I think he deserves a chance to show that he can have a creative offense with our weapons in Baker Mayfield. And it was really just Michael Penix Jr. that could not play under center, and that was what was holding back his offense. Because you can say, yes, you need to change your offense for a quarterback, but if your offense works and you just need a competent quarterback that can play all three positions in shotgun, pistol, under center, and Michael Penix can't do one of them, what do you say to that, to the offense? I give him another shot. I'm optimistic. And if you're a true Bucs fan, I hope you're optimistic as well, because like I said before in the beginning of the video, and every video that I've done, it says Baker Mayfield's 9th OC. Hopefully they create a connection, and like like the video, if you're a true Bucs fan and you're ready to have a better offense, maybe like an offense with Liam Coen, because that connection is there. But make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Maybe a little bit longer video, but I had some thoughts to get out in front of the camera and for you guys. But while you're down there, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can make some more videos. And hey, who knows? If you made it to the end of the video, I might shave this little stash that I got going on if we get to 1,000 subscribers. I'll do it right in the middle of the video. Zzz. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, fire the cannons.